What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with mylifestyleacademy.com. And I just want to make sure we are good to go. I am excited for you all to meet Karrie because she is a rock star and she is going to help those of you that want to build a text list. You want to master project broadcast. And by the way, Karrie, I know we're going to get into this, but are they able to use your system for other apps besides project broadcast?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So how many of you want to get some leads off the social mediums, right? You want to build a text list. You want to increase your sales, maybe automate some of the processes. And actually, you know what's kind of cool about this? I know specifically for my team, we actually did a training yesterday that was like an hour long with 3 of the top producers in our entire company in all of North America. So they're not just top 3 on my team, they're like in the entire company. And all of them use and talked a lot about project broadcast, campaigns, keywords, and doing all these things. And so this is kind of a perfect conversation for you and I to have because you're like the master at this. And I know I talked to Marina Simone and some other amazing leaders, some acquaintances of ours, right? And they all just basically said that you're like the master at this. So we're going to have a conversation because I think most people would probably say that they would love to have more leads, more sales, and it's not just about the follow-up and converting the leads, but it's also having a way to connect with the lead off of social and know that like you're building something that is yours. The problem with TikTok and Reels and Facebook and Instagram, we don't own these platforms. And the truth is, I think we've all seen this, and I don't like to even speak about this, but we have seen people get their accounts shut down. We've seen people get suspended, or your Facebook jail, or your TikTok just like gets blackballed or ghosted or whatever it is, right? Where like you're like all of a sudden no views, no leads, no comments. And we also know that platforms like TikTok are brand new. The fact of the matter is you should always build a list. But back when I first got started in the whole like online marketing, build your personal brand, that whole conversation back in the day, most people were blogging and using YouTube and they were like, you got to build a list. You got to build a list. And I'm like, what the heck is a list? What are they talking about? And it was an email list, right? Eventually, of course, I cracked the code. I figured out what they were talking about. But the truth is, how many of us do not open our emails like at all, right? How many of us is just like, you have so many unread emails. Now, I will say I'm actually pretty good with my emails, and I do like unsubscribe every day from email lists just to have like as few emails coming in as possible. But I'm kind of a freak, and I don't think most people do that. But text messages, how many of us, it's like you get a text message, like you start tweaking a little bit if like you don't respond to it within a short period of time. I think it's like the average text message, or like 90% of text messages are opened within like 15
99.
Even crazier. Within like
and it's not even
minutes.
15 minutes. It's 1 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's hard to ignore them. But there's also, and I think we can also agree, there's also people that are on a lot of text lists now, and they're either stopping them or they're ignoring them. So we need to get attention even through text. So Karrie, Augustine, I'm so excited to have you here and really excited for you to just talk about like some of the strategies and tactics that you've been teaching and helping with, not just yourself, but your students, your clients, etc. But then even before that, if you could just start off with like a little bit of your like backstory and how you got into like mastering this project broadcast, text list system.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you so much for having me on. And listening to John start, my mind was like racing because I was like, yeah, everything he's saying is so true. So before we get into it, my name's Karrie. I'm joining you live from Jersey, Hamilton, New Jersey, aka blueberry capital of the world. I actually grew up on a blueberry farm. I was a teacher, y'all, for 10 years. And I guess that's kind of what got me into teaching others how to do text, because it kind of molded the two together. But I got started in network marketing, I guess like 6 years ago. Not typical, but my story was I was a divorced mom and I just wanted to make ends meet. And, I was working as a teacher, and you can't really make extra money being a teacher. So I got started, and as my business grew and I had the customers rolling in, I wanted a way to like quickly get in touch with them. And that was where I found Project Broadcast. I had hundreds of customers. I saw a sideline that was using it and, talking about how she could blast these messages out. And it was like magic. She would type it up, send it out, and, the responses would roll in. And that was my initial appeal to the project broadcast. And then, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys how I've kind of molded it into something way beyond that. Yeah, you want me to dive right in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for people to understand, like, it for those people that don't know, with Project Broadcast, it's just a text messaging platform. So you can actually have someone text message you. And I'm sure most of us are familiar with this at this point because there's a lot of platforms or systems out there, companies out there promoting stuff like this. But it's just so cool because you can have someone text message you and have this personal number, but it's not your actual number, and you can text blast. Like, I don't know what the limit is, but I know there's people that have literally thousands and thousands of people on their text list. So pretty powerful. But yeah, let's dive in. I'm excited to have this conversation for sure.
Cool. All right. So I started like that with just customers, and then, as John was saying, people are getting a lot of texts nowadays, and I didn't want to just be the promo girl. I didn't want to be the girl that was just blasting out a message only when there was a promo. And also, I wanted a way to be able to capture these people off of these platforms, right? Because you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook. And if you guys want to drop in the comments, are you on all the platforms or are you predominantly on one? So I was just like losing people through the cracks left and right. And realizing that text has a 99% open rate, y'all. Email is only like 20%. And I knew I had to build this list like John talked about. And if you're on here and you're like, what's a list? It's a way to have your leads. And funny enough, not funny, but he brought it up. I had a girlfriend yesterday that her account got shut down, y'all. Hacked one day, gone. And it wasn't just her Facebook. They got her Instagram too. She has no list, and it happened. My husband has a small Instagram, 1,000. He got hacked 2 weeks ago, gone, So how do we get these people off? How do you connect them? And another layer before I tell you what I do is let's think about Facebook groups, right? John talks a lot about ATMing and getting people in groups. I do that as well. Have you guys noticed that like the notification and the activity in the groups, like we're not seeing it anymore?
Right.
So what if you capture the people before you put them in the group? So now they're on a list where you can message them and they're in the group. So you can kind of like message them every once in a while, like, hey, I'm not sure if you saw this post that I made in the group or this recipe that I shared or this workout that just dropped. Now you have the list. It's going right to their phone, 99% open rate. It's getting in front of their eyes and they don't miss that notification.
Yeah, we had Shannon Harris on yesterday. She has 5,000 on her text list and she's, 50,000 in sales and, she's crushing it. But she's like, yeah, I'll send out a message to those 5,000 people when I'm going live, doing a giveaway or answering questions. So it's a no brainer. I love that you mentioned that because it's like, yeah, you're adding people to these groups, but like, who cares if they're in the group if they don't see the posts, which is probably going to be the case with most of the people that are being added. So this is just another way, especially once you build it. Like if you have like 3 customers, and you have a small following, you're just getting started. Okay, maybe you don't need it. But at some point, your mindset is I'm going to have hundreds of customers. I'm going to have thousands of leads. So I love that you mentioned that. So true.
And I like that John just said that. We're going to go back and forth here. I like that he just said that because some people ask me, what if I don't have any customers yet? Is this for me? I'm going to be honest. It kind of is. Why? Because you're going to start getting your text number out there.
Yep.
And Meg Williamson, she crushes this. Her way, her people. Here's the thing with texting, you have to train your audience how you want them to get in touch with you. She has it on there constantly. So someone with no customers, if you're on your stories or on your reels or on your TikToks or whatever on a daily basis, like, hey, do you want information on this? Text this word. Do you want information on that? Text this word. Do you want to get on my VIP list? Do you want my promo list? Do you want to save $20? Like, I'm doing it all day long. She's doing it all day long. So to go back to what I just said, maybe you don't have a customer yet, but you're getting them on the list. Yep. So now you can build the relationship. And that's what I teach people how to do. Like, we're not just spamming them. We're not just saying, buy this, buy this. We're building a relationship, like get to know them, but you have the lead. You don't have a paper that you're writing their name down. You don't have like a Google form that you're like frazzled. That was me, you guys. I was frazzled with leads all over. I had them on Post-it notes. I had them in notebooks and yeah.
I love that. Yeah. You want to, I think a lot of times people get caught up in I want to build my brand. What's my niche? And it's like, forget about building a brand. Stop building a brand, start building connection and community. And that's really what it's all about. So I love that you said that. So good. So true.
Yeah. So I, in essence, teach people how to do that, how to get out there and drive people to it could be product, it could be business, or it could be value.
Yeah.
So on your stories and on your content, you're driving your leads to something, you're collecting their information, and then you're giving them something back. So you're collecting their phone number. And that's the thing. People, I used to think this too. I was like, how am I going to ask people for their phone number? Like, am I supposed to text or message John Melton in the DMs like, hey, can I have your phone number to put you on my list?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to message him, hey, shoot me a text with the word VIP and you're going to be on my VIP list. Then the app pops up on my phone that I just got someone, I don't know his name. And that's the other thing that people ask me, do you have to save everyone's names? No, not really. Not until they become a customer, because you can still message them without having their name. And I mean, at that point, then we figure it out moving forward. But it's just about building the list so that you're able to, when you have a promo come up, when you have a sale come up, when you want to share some information, you can quickly, you guys, it takes 5 minutes for me to type a message to send out to like 4,000 people. When I have like an event, right? Like a opportunity, I'm sure we all have opportunity events. I can quickly blast out a message to all the people that I've ever talked to about the opportunity. I can send them like a reminder message. The opportunity starts in 15 minutes. Here's the link to the Zoom. So it has a lot of capability.
No, it's so smart. I mean, the biggest issue, and it's always going to go back to this, is that people are not always paying attention to what you're posting. They're definitely missing stuff in the groups. They're definitely going to miss your stories. And now that there's so much competition, there's so many people that are posting. There's so many people, like, everybody's like, oh, my views are down. My engagement in my group is down. And it's like, okay, well, you can complain about it. You can say, oh, it's frustrating, or say, okay, I need to pivot. I need to figure out other ways to get in touch and stay in touch. And, it's funny because a lot of what you're talking about, right? Not just spamming your list. It's the same kind of conversation we have with social media, right? Like, you don't want to be an infomercial. You don't want to have commission breath where it's like the only time I reach out is when we have a promo, when I'm trying to sell you something. Now, with that being said, you are helping people by notifying them of a sale, because again, they're not seeing all the emails. They don't know all the deals that are happening. And you can always put at the bottom of your text, hey, click stop or reply with stop if you don't want me to send you these messages anymore. So you're giving them options if they want to opt out. You're not just like, once you got them on the list, you're going to message them forever. But it's like Karrie keeps saying, it's like you want to like ask questions, build a relationship. Like, and Shannon talked about this yesterday in our training. Like, if someone asks a question, she's responding to them. She's not just sending out messages. She's actually like responding proactively to the people that are shooting her questions, or they're sharing their results, or whatever it is. So I think that's really important, because you want people to feel like they're getting a text message from you as an individual message, and not that they're just on some text blast. Like, they might know they are, but it needs to feel personal. So I love that. And I would like to ask you, Karrie, like, how often are you text messaging your leads? Like, how are you segmenting your lists? Like, how are you doing all of that?
That's a good question. So and that's one that people ask me a lot. So I personally would say I tap on my people on the regular, like 2 to 3 times a week, right? And it's value. So people ask me like, what kind of value are you providing? What kind of value can I provide? I'm stuck. So value can be anything from, again, a recipe, a workout, a podcast, a blog, a video, a value message could be like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
How's your week going? Right? Like, so I'm texting those people, like, and when I say those people, like, my list, my customers are hearing from me like 2 to 3 times a week. My leads, like people that came in and haven't actually converted to a customer, I would say maybe once a week, once every 10 days.
Smart.
An example I use frequently when I'm training people is I love salads in a jar. Have you ever seen a salad in a jar? That's like my jam. I make them for myself, for my husband. So I, a lot of times, make reels, TikToks. I put them on my stories. I put them everywhere. And I ask people, hey, do you want my 7 favorite salads in a jar? Text me the word salads. So I'm pulling them in, right? They're coming in on my salads. They're getting my recipes for free. Then I'm sending another message. And this is the automated part. I'm sending another message where they're getting another recipe a couple days later. Then I'm inviting them to my Facebook community. And this is like different messages all done in like a week. And then the last message is, hey, John, you're interested in my salads in a jar. Can I ask, do you have any specific health goals? Right? So that's going to go towards talking about products, or no, I wanted to save money, Oh, can I show you how I make money on social media? So it's like that's done over the course of about 10 days, 15 days, and I'm
Love it.
having the conversation, but they're on my tag. So once they're in, people are like, well, what's a tag? It's like a label. It's like a label in a department store, men's, women's, children, whatever. So they're on my salads tag. So those people, after they've gone through that sequence, I've talked to them, maybe they turned into a customer, maybe they didn't. I make a new salad in 2 weeks. I send them another message. Oh, hey, did you see the salad that Julie dropped in our group? That could be another message. Like it's just building the relationship and massaging it until eventually they turn into a customer or a team member. That's the goal, right? That's the goal of it.
Yeah, that's really smart. And then like, how many do you have, just out of curiosity, if you know, like how many do you have that are leads? How many do you have that are customers? Like how many different like lists do you have?
My customers are like 1,300. And then leads for the business, I think I'm like 2,000, 2,500. And then the rest of my project broadcast, so about 3,500 are just like my leads that are sitting in there that have come in on something.
So you have 3 labels, 3 categories.
I have like so many labels because
Oh,
that's
do
where
you?
like, I mean, you can get so in depth, right? You can have different the cool thing is, you guys, about project broadcast, and people don't realize this, one person can have like literally 50 labels. So you can label them as like a customer with a specific product, with a specific, like maybe they want my salads, maybe they want my intermittent fasting. Like, so you can do that. They don't have to have just one label.
So you're treating it as like a full-blown CRM.
Basically, yeah. And it's kind of cool because like I let it work. And the other thing that I was telling a client earlier is I let it work for me, right? I'll come on my project broadcast, maybe on my dashboard. I sit at my computer when I'm doing my work and I sit here, 3 to 4 times a day. I catch up on messages. Then I go and like create new conversations, batch create content, do whatever I'm doing, team stuff. Then I come and sit here again. So you don't have to be available all day long.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like
you can have like your office hours,
yes,
like, where people know you're going to be more responsive than other times. I totally agree. I love that. That's so good. And then
the other thing I want to give you guys a tip is like, because I know it's month end, it's promo time. This is a massive tip. If you guys are sending messages out, you need to have a call to action on them, because people sometimes don't realize that you want them to respond. Because like John said, there's so many brands sharing messages right now that like I'm getting messages for Diff sunglasses. They don't want me to respond, but like we want our people to respond, right? So sometimes you have to ask a question and make sure, if you guys are out there using project broadcast, that you have a keyword response on that message. So like if you're sending out information, hey, it's end of the month. Oh my gosh, there's a massive promo going on. Respond promo. Like give them a keyword, because that's tagging all of those people on the keyword. So when those people respond to me with that tag, once my end of the month promo starts, I'm hitting that tag up a lot for the end of the month. Like I'm hitting them up to let them know that the promo is now going. Did you grab your order? Oh my gosh, it ends today, because they've raised their hand, you guys. They've raised their hand that they want to know. And I treat them the way my brain works. I'm a busy mom. I'm a busy mompreneur. I look at stuff, I forget all the time. If somebody said, hey, get these black leggings before they sell out, they're going to be gone for 6 months, and I forgot, I would actually be mad that they didn't remind me. So I treat it that way. Like these people raised their hand.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're helping them. It's almost like an obligation, a responsibility. And, at the end of the day, again, if they don't want, they just respond with the word stop and they're removed. That's it. So my final question is, do you have a lot of like VA help, or are you mostly the one sending, responding, all the things?
That is a good question. So I do have like a VA that'll help me to like update all my current customers and stuff, and like put those in, just because it's something off my plate. And if you guys are using project broadcast, you guys could totally do the same. It's very cost effective. But I do most of my messaging myself, as far as like coming up with the messages and planning them out and all that. And I built landing pages.
That's awesome. Very cool.
One thing I will add too, and this is important to know, if you guys are out there using project broadcast and you're like, but nobody's responding and it's crickets, keep your head up, because here's the deal. If they're not responding, stop. They're still there. They're still watching. I've had people that I've sent messages to 12 times over 6 months, crickets. And then all of a sudden, on the 13th time, they responded. And like, guess what? If that was in Messenger, y'all, how quickly would you have given up? Most people would give up after 4 messages. They'd be like, dude, they're ghosting me. Like, I'm done,
Right.
So that's kind of the beauty of it. They're seeing it. They're there. And I've had people this is the other thing. If they do respond stop, you can archive them, but they're still in there. I've had people that have responded stop, and then 3 months later, they send me a message. I'm like, okay, I guess you're back,
Yeah, that's funny. And then don't you have some type of challenge or boot camp? You have something coming up.
I do. I'm so excited to teach people how to do exactly this, how to get your leads captured off of social media, how to build value and relationships with them, turn them into customers and team members, to, like I tell everyone, to save yourself time and increase your sales. Because at the end of the day, copying and pasting 100 messages in Messenger, you guys, I don't know how fast your thumbs work. That would probably take me an hour. You could send 100 messages in Project Broadcast in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not to mention, you send out enough of those messages, Facebook's going to be like, Yeah.
I forgot about that. This is very true. Yes. So
I know this from personal experience. So can you share the details for your upcoming challenge?
Yes. So I guess I'll have to put the text number. Can you put it on here, or should we put it above the video?
No, we can do it. Yeah. If you do it, we can add it to the banner or whatever.
Can I put it over here in the chat?
If you say it, I think Kyle or Desi could probably put it in the deal. And you could also put it in the chat. You can do both. Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah. So they text you, and then what's the when's it start?
It actually starts, y'all, and we're building it up here. My plan is to help you guys start to build some lists going into the Black Friday season, right? So it actually starts on October 14th. So we're a couple weeks out, not too far, 2 weeks out, and I'm excited. It'll be 5 days. It's going to be free. I'm going to give you all the value for if you are set up, what's the next step to start collecting the leads. If you aren't set up, I'm going to give you really quick how to get set up in like 5 seconds, and then how to build those relationships, kind of like I do with my salads in a jar, to convert these people to customers eventually and get yourself automated, get the keywords working for you so that you can start focusing on the content, the fun part, right?
I love it. And it's a 5-day challenge.
It is a 5-day challenge.
Okay,
yep.
So if you guys just drop the word challenge, we can then respond to you guys. And then also there's a text. Okay, there it is. And then also there's a text number. You can also shoot what do they say? Just what's the word they got to send to that
wait
number?
List.
Okay, so just text waitlist, the word waitlist, to that 609 number.
Yep.
And if you're driving or you're like, oh, I can't get it right now, I can't text it right now, just drop the word challenge and we'll make sure to respond to you guys. But yeah, that'll be it. That's definitely going to be beneficial. Also, Nidhi is asking, what is your TikTok?
I think it's just Karrie Augustine. Yeah, it's just my name.
And also, here's what we'll do, guys. After this is over, we always edit the description. So we'll add the details for the challenge, her TikTok. That way you can follow her and stuff like that. And a whole bunch of people want the challenge. That's good. Everybody's excited. Awesome. Good stuff. We're actually live in 5 places right now. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. But I would also, make sure you text waitlist. It is 609-270-1181 right there on the screen. And again, those of you dropping the word challenge, will try to respond to you as well. Karrie, you're amazing. I love that you're doing this for people. I think it's so important. Oh, one other question I didn't want to ask before we wrap up. What else do you help people with besides Project Broadcast? Is it Shout? Like, are there other apps? Because I know some people are in like Europe. I don't know if there's a European.
Yes, I have helped a couple people get set up on Shout. It's it's the same marketing strategies I'm doing. It's just a different platform, you guys. So yes, there is the availability to do it in other countries on Shout. And then I think that in Europe, you're gonna have to tell me. Like, I don't think Shout was 100% capable there. I know, like in Australia and stuff, Shout was working with the keywords and all.
Yeah, I think the problem with Europe is there's so many different countries, so they probably, all the different phone numbers but yeah, I was curious if you know of something other than Project Broadcast or Shout for Europe. But yeah, it's definitely a different market because there's probably, I can only imagine how many different phone numbers and the different regulations there. But it definitely seems like people in Europe can use that. I just think it's a little maybe glitchy, but Project Broadcast is definitely the King Kong in North America.
Yeah, and you're definitely like, you know what? I'm going to put myself on it, you guys. So if you're on here and you are in Europe, we're going to find a solution for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, awesome. Karrie, I appreciate you. Everybody's loving it. Y'all smash the heart button if you got value from this conversation. Make sure you share this with your teammates. Project Broadcast, is this a free program? Yeah, the 5-day challenge is free. Project Broadcast is not free. There is a cost.
Let me ask you, Mr. John Melton, how would you equate like using text versus email when people ask you like price wise, because you probably do a lot of emailing. Like I try to say cost effectiveness. I think it's super cost effective.
Yeah. Text is definitely better than email, even if it's more expensive, depending on what you're using, for email. Cause I know there's like MailChimp, which is free and some different things. The problem is people just don't open emails. Like you said 20%, like that's like a good open rate, right? That's like a really good open rate if you have 20% of your emails that are getting opened and read. And, to me, it's like, especially if you're trying to build a brand, build a following, you want to monetize all these things, you definitely should build an email list. But, we have a text list and we have an email list. So we can, hit from different angles, because at the end of the day, there's people that open up text, there's people that open up emails. There's people that maybe open up both, but I think a lot of people, again, we talked about in the very beginning, 99% open rate. And I think most text messages are open within like the first 5 minutes, 15 minutes. It's crazy. So knowing that to be true, to ignore text messaging is just crazy town. Like if you want more attention, you want better retention, you want people to open these messages that you're putting all this time and effort into, you're going to be better off with text message for sure. I still like email, but I think email is more complicated. And I also think just in general, again, the response isn't nearly as good. So if someone said, hey, what if I could only do one of the two? I would say text message for sure.
And I think text user wise, if they can only do one, is a little more user friendly. Do you agree? Kind of? Yeah. Okay.
It's way easier. It's way easier for sure. Yeah. Because even like with email, you probably need to create like an opt-in, and there's a lot of moving parts, and I just think text message in general is a lot easier.
And the keyword is the opt-in on text, you guys. Like I just did, if you guys are texting me waitlist, that's my opt-in. Like I don't have to like set anything up or connect any dots. So yeah. Okay. I wanted your
simplicity. I'm all about simplicity. Oh, and Shannon says that MailChimp's not even free. So
yeah. Okay. I had heard it was free too. So
yeah, maybe it's free depending. I'm sure it depends on how many emails. That's what it boils down to. How to come up with the value, says Shannon. That's going to be a part of what Karrie teaches inside her challenge. So she'll help you guys with that. Cool deal.
Well, I've actually started putting together value packages too, because so many people are asking for it. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's cool to have like a sequence of value, especially like, because I know there's a lot of people on here from different companies, but I know in our company specifically, there's people that purchase weight loss products. That's going to be a different conversation than people that are purchasing collagen or skincare. So you totally, like you said, set up these different tags, these different categories, which is, hello, genius. You want to customize it, make it more personal. That's what it's all about.
100%. And at the end of the day, you guys are going to retain these people with the value, because you want people to look at your name pop up and be excited to see what you're sending. Not like, oh, here she comes trying to get me to buy something again, right? That's like kind of the mentality.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
What are you selling me this time? But it's funny too, because there's some people that every time they're selling you something, you're like, I got to have it. I got to have it, because they always sell me good stuff, right? So you want to be that person. You want to be the person that would, like, when you promote something, when you're selling something, people are like, absolutely, I'm buying it, because the free stuff is so good that the paid stuff is just that much better. So
100%.
All right. Awesome. I appreciate you, Karrie. You're amazing. All right, y'all. Let's go crush.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.